Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to the Yorkshire Rugby Union show. Thank you for everybody that watched and supported show number 1, and thank you for all your kind and positive feedback. It really is appreciated and does mean an awful lot to us. And it also means that this show, number 2, can happen. So here's what's coming up. As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like your club to feature in a future episode, or you simply want us to promote an upcoming event at your club, or you're a business that would be interested in sponsorship or advertising on the show, then do get in touch with us right now. The details are on the screen. We start this show with a professional player that's one of the longest serving in the county. He's Yorkshire Carnegie hooker Phil Nilsen, who's just surpassed the 200 game mark for the club. A fine achievement, and as you'd expect, Phil is a very proud man of that.
It means a great deal, to be fair. You think, I said it before, but you know, people who've reached over 200 games are considered legends in the club, and never thought I'd be here to, or even get close to 200 games, but to actually do that is a great accolade, and I'm very proud of it.
Why have you wanted to stay at this club that's had many forms and different names over the years? Why have you seen this as a special club for you?
I've always enjoyed it. I've loved the city. The city is a great place to be, and I've been here since I was younger. And whether it was coming here so young and being moulded into that way, and Leeds being the team that I wanted to play for, Leeds being everything about it, I'm not sure if it was that, but I've never really wanted to go anywhere else. I've had offers over the years to go other places, but I've always wanted to stay, and I've enjoyed it here. I like playing at Headingley, I like everywhere around, and it's a nice place to be.
So for you then, for all the times you've had here, what stands out as your best memories? So let's start on the pitch.
There's been a lot, to be fair. I mean, coming through the academy night when we were in the 19s, we won the National Cup, and we won the Yorkshire Cup, the Senior Cup, and then that was the first real sort of victory we had as a young group. And a lot of them players did leave. But that was my first experience in the club of a bit of success. And then at the time, the first team, I was only 19, 20, and I think the first time won the Power Gen. Went on a big run to stay up in the Premiership. And it was exciting times when Heineken Cup and that, and all that sort of atmosphere at the beginning was, it was a great time to be here. The first, and I was on a young lad saying, the first team welcomes you in open arms. You come to training, he looks after you. Obviously beat you up every now and then when you need to be, but he looks after you away from the place. I remember the lads giving me lifts to uni and stuff like that. So them times stick out to you. And then over the years, obviously we've been up and down. Promotion, relegation. Within that, there's great big, there is parts that are, stand out for good reasons and for bad reasons. Things like the Northampton game. We always say that's a big one. I remember playing that game, and we lost. We only needed 1 point from the game to stay up, and we didn't make it. But we played some great rugby. Went there. We had 21 points in 20 minutes away at Northampton. Obviously home here, we beat Worcester. Obviously it was great for us, but again, you look at the flip side of it, the Worcester lads obviously had issues behind the scene, and it wasn't such a great scenario for them. There's lots and lots of different things. I mean, more recently as well, I've had my boys last year, walked out with me 2 eldest. I'm going to do it again, hopefully at the end of this year, take all 3 of them now. Walk out on the field. Walking out with your kids on the field is a great feeling. And that is probably one of my proudest. I've got the picture up from last year in my hallway as soon as you walk in there. So hopefully this year I'll get out and get another one with all 3 of us.
So best hookers you've come up against or been at the club?
I've been fortunate in a way and unfortunate. We've obviously had quite a few internationals here. Steve Thompson, Andy Titcherell, Villiers, Tongan international. Experience, obviously Rawley played over 200 games for the club as well. Personally I've had some really good hookers here to learn off, and I've learnt different things from each of them. And I've been fortunate they've been wanting to teach me as well. Hookers I've played against, a lot of the current England internationals, Rob Webber, Dylan Hartley, and them sort of people you play against, and you can see the different sort of pedigree of international players to your average, even a good Premiership player to Championship player. You can see that different pedigree when you play against them, and you're playing against guys like that. And it's tough, but it's also exciting and a good feeling to play against guys like that.
We'll have more from our conversation with the Yorkshire Carnegie hooker Phil Nilsen later in this programme. But if you'd like to see a full extended interview with Phil, then you can find that on our YouTube channel right now. Next we go to Huddersfield and the club that developed England international centre Luther Burrell. After the disappointment of relegation last season, Huddersfield have bounced back strongly this campaign. They sit top of National League 3 North and are still unbeaten. So we headed down to Lockwood Park to find out the key to their winning formula.
I think the secret success sort of lies largely in the off-season. We had a difficult season last year. We got into a bit of a rut. We had a lot of young players in the squad. Confidence was drained, so I think we took time to reflect in the off-season. Both myself and Phil Gosselin, backs and skills coach, and the hard work and dedication of the players during pre-season, with a few sort of changes to the game plan and the strategy, have built success. I think the players are extremely passionate about the way they play. They play for the club, but we're based on a set piece, strong set piece. We worked hard in the off season on scrum and line out to provide that platform that we didn't have last season. But then, this season we've developed, when it's on to play in the wider channels, we've got threats pretty much all across the back line.
Huddersfield's success this season is clearly down to a lot of hard work, and maybe it's even more impressive when you consider they sit in the town that gave birth to Rugby League. That's a sport that dominates in the West Yorkshire region, especially at professional level. But rather than fighting against their rugby rivals, the Union Club are embracing their league brothers for their benefit.
It brings problems, it brings pluses. There's a talent pool out there in Rugby League that obviously we tap into where we can, and it works both ways. Gaz has certainly done a lot more work with, he's been in to observe Giants coaching sessions pre-season. We've had some work from the fitness from Matt. And certainly one of the things where I think probably a lot of rugby union clubs now are trying to manage is this issue now where there's a lot of players almost dual coding and playing 12 months of the year. So you'll have youngsters playing across in Calderdale for part of the Rugby League and coming back to play rugby union. So that's something I think everybody's aware of, needs managing sensibly. But we get on within the town, there's no animosity.
No, I think we sort of complement each other because we've got sort of one of the Giants' sort of star players in Danny Ruffy comes down probably I'd say once a month, once every other month, something like that, to sort of use his skills to the more to the backs of our squad. But he still comes down, and if he's got anything to say, we'll gladly accept it. So it's not jealous or anything like that we're not the sort of the premier rugby team within Huddersfield. I think it's more of we'll accept anything, any sort of advice and sort of knowledge we can get off them, really.
And from the involvement of one rugby star in the Giants' Danny Brough to another, England international Luther Burrell. He is the club's most famous graduate, rising through the age grades to go on and play for Leeds Carnegie before a move to Northampton Saints, which has led to England honours for the centre. Paul Sharrock was one of the Burrell's coaches during his time at Huddersfield.
He started right at the beginning at his under 8s. I came down with my lad Tom at under 10s, and he stayed with us apart from a year out. I think it's 1 year out of Rugby League. Came back to us and played through to under 16s, under 17s, where he then was snapped up and went to Leeds. It's great to see him develop. He's put a lot of effort in over the years. And it doesn't happen very often where a club produces players who gets all the way through to the top. It'd be nice to repeat it someday. But no, it's certainly a good flagship for the club.
You taking all credit for coaching his
I'm
skills?
taking no credit at all for coaching him, at all.
We're always looking for that next Luther, and hopefully, there will be plenty more. But no, very, very proud of him. And I think the good thing is as well, his dad, Jeff, who coached that age group, is actually still here now volunteering and helping with the coaching side of things as well, which is, fantastic for us.
And I'm sure Luther would approve of the philosophy the club's management team have installed with the one badge, one club motto, ensuring the entire club, from junior to seniors to committee, are all linked together to help each other out and to work closely as one tight unit.
Well, the way that we've done that this season, which is something new, but it's worked very well, we've had they've worked on a rota with the first team, coming in on a Sunday morning to work with different age groups. So we will have a coach that will say maybe we could work on passing this morning. We'll pick up on different areas, and the actual players will come in and work on those areas with the age groups to promote them.
The senior players got as much out of it as what the junior players did. It was sort of a two-way street where they enjoyed it so much they came down and they felt they were getting things from it. They were gaining positives from giving back to the club, and then seeing the youngsters coming down, whether they be mascots from the under-8s on a Saturday, running out with us, and they noticing who you are. I think that's a real thing as well, a real sort of positive. And then just generally lads rocking up on a Saturday, young lads rocking up with the parents to watch us play, and I think it builds on from everything, builds on from that really.
So top of National League 3 North, and hopefully the first team will now go on and complete the job of gaining promotion. So with the club clearly on the rise again, what should the ultimate ambitions be?
So it's really important that we are sustainable, but the club, the town needs a National 2 side. We need to be mid to top half in National 2 year on year, and I think that's the challenge. Anything above that, then it becomes extremely difficult with the budgets that some of the national clubs are operating on, but certainly a consistent National 2 side.
Welcome to Dizzy Kicks. We're here at Castle Park and it's the Doncaster Night Squad turn to have a go at our challenge. All they need to do is put the ball on the 22 and convert a kick over these posts. Simple enough. The complex part comes in the middle, where they must spin round 10 times quickly before starting their run up to try and get it over those posts. Let's see how they get on.
Sean Scanlon, fullback. Winger. You're not a fullback, you liar. You're a winger. Wider! Wider! You cheat! You cheat! Wider! 6, 7. Oh my god! 8, 9, 10. Which way am I going?
Sam Edgley, scrum half.
What was that? Check
Dougie Flockhart, number 10.
Here we go.
He just can't miss.
Next.
Not off that.
Lloyd Hayes, centre.
I went the wrong way. You go that way, then you come around. 6, 10. You've done it!
Matt Clark, centre.
Big nose! Go! Oh, he's nervous. Best kick of his life.
Shake, do it!
Best kick of his life.
Might go in it somehow.
Six, 7, 8, 9. Hold it. Hold it. He's gonna volley. He's gonna volley Lloyd.
Good job.
Good teamwork.
Paul Jarvis, fullback.
Oh my God. Joey, go on now. Shank nowhere. Shank nowhere. Oh, that's so. Jesus. Go on then, Casey. Go on, Casey.
Chat a bit, Maz. Hooker, prop. Ish.
See them do this. Oh Jesus!
It's brave knocked it up. Only one that got it. Shock, not an issue. Next question.
Nice, Doug.
Hi, I'm Will Owen, captain of Rotherham Titans, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my teammates. Agsy, or Jack Hayes probably. He's he embraces a bit of hard work and is one of the most dedicated people I've met. Will Thomas definitely. Dash. Probably not too much to pick from. I'd have to go with Charlie Foley. He's been injured for most of the season, but there was a nice little link up between me and him at the start of the season, which showed a bit of his skill. It went viral actually. Brian O'Driscoll tweeted it, so that's a bit of a claim to fame. So yeah, Charlie Foley. Will Goodwin, pretty boy, Hollister haircut, doesn't go anywhere without a mirror. Coley, Luke Cole, I think he's got 4 in a game at one point. He's class over the ball. Me? No, not me. George Tressida, he just got into Oxford Uni. So congratulations to him, but I think he's one of the only people in the team with a degree. I think Sando, James Sanderson's the only one with 100% tackle rate in the league. If you look at the stats, Dan Kelly's been really impressive as well so far. Everyone will have a go at me for saying it because it's going to blow his head up, but Tom Calladine makes everyone laugh. Agsy. It'll be Agsy. Well, he likes to think so. I reckon I'd have him, but he always boasts about how hard he was or used to be. Another one for Tom Calladine. Terrible. He thinks he's a mod, he tries to be a mod. He just had his haircut recently, and it's horrible. Joe Reese, without a shadow of a doubt. He's probably one of the heaviest as well, so it's kind of an excuse, but after a scrum, the way he plods around the pitch is embarrassing, really.
Thank you very much to the Rotherham Titans captain Will Owen for giving us an insight into the Titans squad and for dishing the dirt on some of his teammates. I'm sure they'll thank him just as much. Maybe not. More now from our conversation with the Yorkshire Carnegie hooker Phil Nilsen, the club's longest serving player. And we found out a little bit more about what life is like as a championship player.
I'm fortunate. It's been a good life. Obviously, I've been here for 15 years or whatever, and I've made a career out of it. I've not had to have any other jobs, and I've been lucky because at a club like this, it is a good wage in relative terms, but when you look at it compared to the Prem terms, it's nowhere near that. And you do get odd players that come in that do receive that sort of thing, and that happens. That's just sport, and you have to attract big players and good players. You have to obviously pay more. But for me personally, it's been good. I've been able to live a nice lifestyle. I've been to university. I've houses, cars, all that sort of thing. So it's been good, and just being able to, also the other side of it, being able to spend time with your family as well, because obviously it's a bit different timetable. So obviously you don't get weekends, but you get days off during the week and stuff for your kids, and when they're not at school and stuff, it's great because you get that extra time with them. Half days and stuff, being able to go drop your kids off at school or go there and pick them up is a nice thing. So as a lifestyle, it creates a really, really nice lifestyle, which is something obviously coming towards the end of career. In a few years, I'm actually having to piece together what I'm trying to do to fit in over that, or to try and pick up a similar lifestyle.
What are your ideas for when you finish? You've got a few years left, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I mean, I'm 32 next weekend. So yeah, I've got a few years left, hopefully, providing injury, doesn't get me. But I'm probably looking at being a paramedic. Is the honest truth. I've always been interested in that sort of stuff. So it means going back to university again and getting qualified and cracking on with that.
Oh, best of luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Not quite sure I want you attending to me, no offence, Phil, if we ever have any injuries. But yeah, see your smiling face, I thought, yeah, I'm going to be safe. Maybe not. What about the characters you played with and kind of off the field at the club over the years? You must have come across quite a few in this.
Yeah, there's lots.
Carnegie shirt.
There's lots. I mean, we've had when I was younger, we had a lot of big names. Ian Bolshaw, Justin Marshall, Gordon Ross, and a lot of big names. And then when we've not been at the height of our game, we've brought in other people, but they've held similar qualities. I mean, lads who want to do the best, lads who want to be the best they can be. But there has been a few. I mean, Backy was a good. He was a coach, but he was good. And I remember when he first arrived, we went to Whitby for a day out for training camp. We had some food together as a team and stuff. And on the way back, we were on the bus together. There was obviously 40 lads on the bus, rugby lads, and there was some idiot who decided to stop us in the middle of the A64 and pull the bus over and got out of his little white van with a little spite of road rage and jumped out in the middle of the A64, which was a bit surreal, really. So I remember Backy jumping off the bus, and obviously coming from the Leicester background, never backed down, and he went out to me and was like, "What are you doing?" And fronted, not fronting him up in a bad way, but fronting him up to say, "What are you doing?" And obviously all us lot had power to the front of the bus, and you're talking guys like Eric Lund, Alfie Tuala, big men. And this guy was sort of like, you see he's frozen, you see him look at the bus, and his eyes just, you can see the whites in his eyes, like, this isn't fair. There's all you lot on the bus, and it was a funny moment, but that sort of set back his sort of a tone of, we don't take no rubbish off anyone, and we're going to go places, and we're going to, try and front up to people, which is what we did that year. We went away to places, we won enough games, we played a style which Rugby, which suited us. We obviously narrowed the pitch here, and that's what helped us stay up in the Premiership. Obviously the year after, we were nearly there again, but we just couldn't quite capitalise on it, which was unfortunate. And it's great in the rugby environment. You do get a lot of good characters, a lot of big characters. Scully now, he's played all over Toulon with all these internationals, all these stories, and the changing room is a good place to be for the stories and experiences of other people. It is a fun place to be.
So what are your hopes and dreams for the rest of your career, which will hopefully be here at Yorkshire Carnegie? What do you want to achieve in those next few years?
We want to be back in the one thing I want to do before I ever give up playing rugby is play in the Premiership again. And hopefully we'll do that this year, and if not, we'll always keep striving to do it. And that's one of the reasons why I've always wanted to stay as well. The club's always wanted to be back in the Prem, always wanted to do that, and they've always tried to put the building blocks in place, bring the team in together, get the coach stuff in. They've always tried to do that, and that's one thing which I've always believed the club wanted to do. And obviously another name change with the Yorkshire Carnegie now, and the new owners are coming in, and they want Premiership rugby as well. And I think that's a big pull for a lot of players as well, to stay here and to want to come here. Obviously people want to be in the Prem, that's what we want to do. We've got great facilities here, as you can see, and that's what it's all about. Play at the best level you can do, and that's all I want to do, really.
Welcome to Halifax, one of the most scenic places to play and watch your rugby union. Well, when it's not pitch black and raining, of course. Halifax is a story of a club that's enjoyed great success over the years for both its male and female teams. Equally, it's one of rebuilding. For the men's, they've enjoyed National League Rugby as a semi-pro side, but when the money ran out, they've had to rebuild again through the Yorkshire divisions, currently plying their trade in Yorkshire 3. For the women's section, they boast one of the best setups in the county, but haven't had to rebuild just once, but twice, at one point having only 2 female players. But the spirit has never died at this club and they're fighting back again. So let's find out more about them.
I've now got a core of local players from the area, whereas before when we were semi-professional they were coming from Sheffield, Rotherham, across the country to play. Now we're a proper Halifax club, and we're building up slowly. Results won't always be right on the pitch. We've been lucky that we've had a couple of promotions, and we had a cup win in sort of the Airwolf competition. This year, not as good, but off the pitch we are sort of building, and we're trying to sort of get the club back up where it should be.
We're working with some of the initiatives in the North Halifax area, the Owen initiative, Owen Forum. We have a men's club on a Wednesday. Retired gentlemen come in and play games, have a cup of tea and have a chat for a couple of hours. Little things like that are slowly building sort of a new fabric to this club. We've also got a ladies team. We've just started a junior side, a link with Trinity Academy just up the road, which is great news for us. They've been a rugby league school and are now switching to rugby union, so we're going to tap into that and support them and get the lads playing rugby union at Halifax. Big one is our mixed ability side. We forged a link with a daycare centre, the Pennine Magpies, about 4 years ago, and we've now 15 or 16 lads playing rugby union every Sunday and training every Tuesday, and they are lads with learning difficulties, physical and mental disabilities, and they've just been a real boon to our club.
I think I might be right in saying that years gone by there are certain clubs that might have not quite been able to accept the fact that women play rugby, and that there was sort of the old brigade, if you like, that might find it a bit sort of sticking in the throat that they couldn't quite understand women playing rugby. But here it's just been an inclusion, and the inter-team spirits are just fantastic in terms of the social side of things, as well as supporting each other on match days as well.
Just how inclusive Halifax is as a club is highlighted by what happens on a Thursday night, as the men and women's team both train on the same pitch at the same time. But it goes beyond simply the men and female teams. It's also about the mixed ability team here, and the diversity spreads even further. On March the 4th, the club are holding a big open day in order to showcase just how open and welcoming they are as a club, but to remind everybody in the local community the wonderful things about rugby union and the fact that it is such a welcoming sport to absolutely everybody.
We've planned an LGBT event which helps just reinforce the rugby is for everyone ethos. Again, it's reaching out to those different sections, making them think, if ever they've thought about giving rugby a go but they're a little bit nervous as to whether they'd be welcomed or not, absolutely, any creed, colour, shape or size, whether you've got 4 legs, 7 arms, just come down and have a go. We've got open arms and open mind as well, really. It's, rugby is for everyone.
We'll be opening the club up on that day from 11 o'clock. It'll be fun training sessions to get them involved, and it'll be sort of about the emphasis that rugby's somewhere where people can sort of express themselves and have fun in a friendly, fun environment. So we've got sort of coaches from the RFU coming down. We've got Leeds Hunters. So the country's first all-gay team, they're coming along as well to support. So, and we've had a lot of interest. So Stonewall, the famous charity, have shown and have expressed an interest in supporting it as well. Anyone can come along and know that it's a friendly, safe environment that they can get involved in.
As Halifax have rebuilt, they put the community and diversity at the heart of everything they do. But when you are rebuilding, you still need an awful lot of help.
Our changing facilities are poor, for a start. We need more showering facilities, the basics of playing the game. Our toilet facilities, because we've got now our disabled users coming in, we want to revamp our disabled toilets, ladies and gents. The club's infrastructure hasn't been looked after as well as it could have been. We've been paying players over the years instead of looking after some of the core elements of the club. That's where we need help. That's where we're approaching the RFU regards help, and the local business community, who have supported us for many, many years. We're very lucky in that regard.
It's very easy to become sort of blinkered in sort of rugby is everything, but if you want the club to grow, you need to look at where players are going to come from and where volunteers are going to come from, and you can't just expect them to come to you. So if we want players to come to the club, we need to go to the schools and show them that Halifax is the place to go. If you want volunteers and people to get involved into the club, we need to work with the local community groups and local charities to show that here's a venue they can use and here's a place they can get involved in, and then they will get involved and help us if we help them. So it's about a two-way street, really.
Well, that's as far as we go for this month's programme. Thank you so much for watching. Really do hope that you enjoyed it. Remember, if you would like your club to feature in a future episode, have a great story to tell, or are interested in sponsorship or advertising on the Yorkshire Rugby Union show, then please do get in contact. The details are on the screen right now. Our next show will be with you at the end of March, but for now, have a good game. Goodbye.